Just how much technology can Callaway cram into these brand new Epic Forged irons? Let's find out, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your very first time watching my content, first of all, welcome to the channel. Second of all, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, that way you won't miss any of the fantastic golf related content that I bring to you guys every single day. In today's video, we are talking brand new Callaway Epic Forged irons, and I'm not going to lie, I was that excited about these things, I even went to the driving range last night on my birthday to hit some, and here's some footage of that there. Funnily enough, I've had a warm-up this morning and things have gone pretty similar. Things are going well with these irons. I'm gonna tell you now, guys, these things go absolutely miles. They're very strong lofted, there's loads of technology in them. Let's just crack on, shall we? What a start. You couldn't write that start, could you? A 220 yard plus 4-iron with the first shot of the day. And again. And the big thing for me is look how straight these are. This is insane. They are 4-irons. So guys, there's only really one place to start with these irons, and that is the shaft. These shafts have the Aerotech steel fibre shaft, and although they look like graphite, they're actually not graphite, but they look a lot like graphite, but I'm told they're not graphite. I do have the FC90 version here, and to be honest, it does feel very, very good. It feels very, very stable. I'm not a massive fan of the graphics on the shafts. I've never been a massive fan of graphics on iron shafts, but they do seem to be performing very well. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said how much technology could Callaway possibly cram into this iron? And the answer's a lot. I've got the 4-iron, the 6-iron and the 8-iron here to show you the numbers of these clubs. I'll tell you what, you're all going to be absolutely dumbfounded by how far these things go, because I am already. Now first things first, let's talk loft for these clubs. So the 4-iron I have in a loft of 18 degrees, the 6-iron in a loft of 24 degrees, and the 8-iron in a loft of 31.5 degrees. Now there's no getting around the fact that they are strong. These are very strong lofted irons, and to be fair, when you look down at them, then that does translate into the visuals. This 6-iron, looking down, it does look a lot more like a 5-iron, and it plays like a 3-iron hybrid. I think hit a driver there earlier. Then there is plenty of technology in these clubs to aid the lack of loft, to get the ball launching and to get it to stop nice and softly on these greens. We're going to have a look at the distances. We're also going to have a look at the peak height, the launch angle, the spin, and just see how they do, how they actually perform in a real life scenario. Guys, hit those comments below as well. Would you like to see me take these on the golf course and see just how they play? Because they're absolute monsters on a launch monitor. It's as good as it gets with a 6-iron. These irons do feature more technology than an Inspector Gadget film. They have 360 face cup and variable face thickness, just like the Apex irons and the long irons in the Apex Pros. That's just naughty. That's a 185 yard 8-iron. These clubs also feature a suspended energy core, which you will find in the Big Bertha irons, but the Big Bertha irons are kind of like 5 times the size of these, so they've done really well to jam pack all that technology into what is still a fairly sleek, small looking head. The big thing that I like about these irons isn't that they're packed to the hilt with technology, certainly isn't the mega upgrade shaft, and definitely isn't the insane distance. It's actually how they look down by the ball. Although they de-lofted, although they do look very strong, they have a real nice sleek look, they don't have too much offset, the top line isn't too thick, and I think they're designed to suit, in fact I know they're designed to suit a very wide range of golfer. That's 190 yards with an 8 iron. Callaway are claiming that these irons are designed to suit between a 6 handicap and a 20 handicap, which is a bit like saying they're designed to suit anyone. One of the real worrying factors for me is, yes, it's all good and well, the 8 iron going 190 yards, and a 9 iron going maybe 160 yards, and your wedge going 145, 150 yards, but what do you do after that? Do you have to fill your bag up with wedges? I think there's a 200 yard 8 iron in here somewhere. And even that, I was struck out of there. I nearly missed the grooves with that shot, and we've still got 185 yards. Now these things aren't going to come cheap. You're not going to get much change from kind of £1,500, but in today's market of irons, that's actually not too bad. And I know I can hear you all screaming, not too bad, that's mega money. And it is, but everything else has gone up as well. To be fair, it's absolutely amazing how Callaway have managed to cram so much technology into such a small looking head. Right, I think I've had enough. Now these numbers are going to be very, very silly. Remember the lofts are strong, remember there's loads of technology in there to help the lofts along. So we're going to look at the numbers, but we're also going to look at the peak height, we're going to look at loads of different numbers, spin rate especially, and see how these irons perform. In another video, I'm going to compare these to the Callaway Apex irons and maybe even the Apex Pro irons and just see how much of a difference there is throughout the whole Callaway range. If that is something you want to see, then make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But let's take a look at the numbers. So let's start with the 8 iron first. I'm going to show you all the numbers because I want you to see just how kind of forgiving these clubs are. 170, 183, 184, 190, 184, 186. That is ridiculous for an 8 iron. Averaging 183 yards. And this is where things get interesting. They're only spinning at 5,000. Sorry Chris, you're going to have to wait. Where were we? They're only spinning at 5,000. Well, they're not even spinning at 5,000. And let's take a look at peak height in feet. 125, 112, 123, 104, 130, 132, 125. So not too bad in peak height. They're not bad numbers for peak height. Let's take a look at the 6 iron. 6 iron, you can see the peak height is down to around kind of 100. I'm going to imagine 101 feet on average peak height. Distance wise, get ready for this with a 6 iron, 203 yards on average, and there were some absolute monsters in there. The final 2 shots there are over 210 yards with a 6 iron. The worst shot was the first one, which wasn't amazingly loose. I did have a warm up, but still 191 yards, but still an average spin of just 4,000. So realistically, with this kind of club, we'll be looking at 5,500 ideally for a 5 iron. But again, that peak height number really isn't that low. What about the 4 iron? Because this was an absolute weapon. Didn't need to hit that many with this, to be fair. Look at those numbers. Again, first shot, not the best, but then 222, 230, 224, 228. Average total 224 yards. So ideally there, the 5 iron, if there's a 10 yard gap, would go 210. Then you've got 200, 210, 220 covered with the 4, 5 and 6 iron. Spinning 3.6, so the 4 iron is actually spinning quite nicely there. That's a nice number. And what about that peak height? Very, very nice. So the Callaway Epic Forged Irons, what do we think? So obviously these things are absolute machines, they're absolute monsters. They go an epically, that sounded ridiculous, they go a massively long way. The thing that I'm definitely going to do, I think, after hitting these clubs is get them out on the golf course and also test them against some other clubs in the market, Callaway Apex, maybe even some of the Titleists. there's something maybe coming, I don't know, soon. I'm allowed to say that. Something's coming. You've seen it on Twitter, surely. Some of the new Mizunos, and just see exactly how they differ and how they do. I think the shafts play a big role in these clubs. They feel, to be honest, after hitting a few shots with them, they feel fantastic. Still, I don't think I could play with the looks of them, but the massive thing for me here is that. Even with my golf swing, the dispersion on these clubs was very, very, very impressive, no matter where I hit it out of the face. So the technology in there, the 360 face cup, the dangling suspended energy core, the variable face thickness, everything there is playing a role for these clubs to be super forgiving, super long, and to be honest, I'm amazed that they look so good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. Comment below, what do we think to these brand new Epic Forged irons? If you have enjoyed it, please also make sure you leave a like. That helps me out massively. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.